his best and last, takes the long walk prematurely.
I could definitely forget about the first 6 months of last year. And
no place to hide now for Roddick.
after the French Open, I had been kind of looking for someone to work with. And I had a list of names, and Connors was the one who kind of really jumped off the page. You know, we went in, and I knew he could help me between the lines, but in order for kind of a player-coach relationship to work, you're gonna have to get together, get along off the court as well. And you know, luckily for us, we kind of clicked. They kind of turned things around really quickly last year, and you know, not just result-wise, but the way I've been playing. I think I'm playing a little bit more aggressive. I'm putting myself in better positions on the court. It just helped with boosting confidence, which was a little bit low, you know, for the first part of last year. And you know, to have someone who's been as successful as he has kind of believe in you and tell you that, it hits home pretty good. And you know, luckily we were able to gain some momentum right away. They kind of come through and play well in Cincinnati and win a Masters Series title and final at the U.S. Open. Kind of saved my year. I hadn't really played well in the Grand Slams, and it was a nice way to kind of end the Grand Slam season. Having someone who's been there before in crunch time and in those big moments, and who really understands, you know, kind of anything I'm going to go through out there, he's been through as well. So it's nice to have someone that can relate. You know, this is about as excited as I've been to play, and about as optimistic as I've been in a couple of years. You know, people were throwing around that word comeback a lot last year, and you know, it maybe not a comeback, but maybe just a new chapter.
Jimmy, meanwhile, watching, we're sure back in the States, mourning the loss of his mother, Gloria, and our condolences to him. Since Connors began working with Roddick there and the record improved, of course, he did take over on the summer hardcourt season where Andy is more likely to win matches. Sure. Was it a case of Roddick raising his game in the latter portion of that set, or was it Tsonga getting a little tight and getting a little tired?
A bit of both. It's a good question, Chris. I think really you could see that as the second set moved on, Andy started to take a much better court position. And when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to get to the net on your terms. And Andy won 10 of 14 points coming to the net in the second set. A much better performance. And I think you'll find that Tsonga got a little tired towards the end of the second, and I'd be surprised if Andy didn't run through these last two sets.
We'll have to see if that opportunity to take a two-set lead, it was 5-3 when Tsonga served forward. It was corrected by Brad Gilbert. Remember him? He's dropped by for a visit, as he used to often correct me. But he did play kind of a loose, sloppy game at that point. An opportunity slipped away.
Well, and boy, doesn't that send a fire up the backside of the higher-ranked, more experienced player. When you see the lower-ranked player, the inexperienced one, suddenly the footwork goes and the serve gets a little bit more three-quarter, you don't go for things as much, it just gives you the sense they don't believe they can win. So now it's my turn as one of the favorites, sixth player in the world, I'm going for it.
Fire up the backside is a good thing, then?
Yes, in this country, it's a very good thing.
Okay. I thought it was like a commentary on the restaurant or something.
That too.
Federer on serve with Pau in the first set at Rod Laver Arena. Of course, we'll track that match. But right back now over to Vodafone. Third set underway. Roddick holding to start that third set back to Mr. Drysdale and McEnroe.
Mr. Drysdale and Mr. McEnroe, thank you. Chris, it's Tsonga serving 15-31 to Andy Roddick. It's one set apiece. And we'll just see how much he has left in the tank, this young 21-year-old Frenchman. Jimmy Connors has made a huge difference. Now, I understand about the hard courts being his best surface, obviously, but with Connors 23-8,
nice. He's got a little left in the tank. Got to use up a bit just to hold to get to one apiece here.
What Jimmy Connors recognized in Andy Roddick's game is that while he has his challenges, he used the strength of his game and has injected that into it in a strategic way, and it's made a huge difference.
Well, that's a part of the equation is that backhand down the line. That time Roddick missed it badly. And he hasn't really looked to hit that shot at all today. But you want to be right up on the baseline. Hit that backhand down the line. You're going to a smaller part of the court and over the high part of the net. But I think Andy said in that interview there, Cliff, really, I think to us was the biggest difference in Roddick's game. Obviously the wins and losses are always key, but the way he was playing, you know, the fact that he was trying to play more in his terms. I remember last year here, Roddick's big thing coming into this Australian Open was, you know, I'm going to play more on my terms. I'm going to be more aggressive with my return game. And remember, Roddick cruised through the first week here. He plays Baghdadis, guy who was sort of, you know, we knew about, was coming out of nowhere. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but I tell you, Baghdadis must have had 30 to 40 more winners in the match than Roddick because of his court positioning and, you know, stepping inside the baseline so much more. So Roddick was saying the right things, but he wasn't doing them on the court. Tsonga playing some defense here. Not a bad approach, but Tsonga able to take out about a 8 club there, Cliff, on that little chip shot.
Oh, missed it. Clips the top of the tape. Otherwise, that would have been a terrific angle pass and given him a break point. Still game point now for Roddick at 1 apiece, 1 set all.
To the one-hander flick.
Roddick holds. It is 2 games to 1. We're on serve in the 3rd set. 1 set all, first round. Australian Open. We're down under in Melbourne, everybody, for the first Grand Slam of the year.
Welcome back to Safe Auto Insurance Company, where representatives are ready to take your call.
In case you didn't know, immediate coverage and low monthly payments aren't the only benefits Safe Auto has to offer.
Because if you qualify for our super premium or ultra premium discounts,
you could save up to 30% off our everyday low rates.
Which means there's never been a better time to call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO.
So play it safe. Pick up the phone.
And call Safe Auto now.
Play it safe. 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Safe, Safe Auto.
In this house, things are different. A download happens in the blink of an eye.
Honestly.
Your favorite shows are on when you want them to be.
What I'm gonna do is stir-fry this.
Quality time is the only measure of time. A phone call lasts for as long as you can talk. Family and friends cannot be preempted. With Time Warner Cable, the world revolves around you.
On serve, 2 games to 1, Andy Roddick in front. This is through Australian Open, Vodafone Arena. Rod Laver Arena is just a couple 100 yards away. Both of them have retractable roofs. Roger Federer is the defending champion. He is in action against Germany's Bjorn Faul.
Andy Roddick is a big fantasy football guy. In fact, he's got a little group of his buddies that playing fantasy football, and apparently Andy's in first place going into the playoffs. So I know Peyton Manning was one of his guys, so he's probably pretty happy. Colts moving on, although Peyton didn't have a great game. A couple of thrillers today. Chicago and New England moving on. So you got Chicago in the championship game, Cliff against New Orleans.
Right.
And then you got Indy against New England. So
Right.
who are you going for? I know your Cowboys lost. I know you're disappointed by that.
Yeah, I'm still in mourning over that. I'm going to go with New England.
New England, okay.
You?
I like Indy.
40-15.
Defense is coming on just in time. Federer getting a little test early on. 3 apiece against Fowl, the German.
Broken in his first serve game and was able to break back. Tsonga holds on serve, 3-2 third set. Make that 2-2 third set. Continuing tomorrow, live coverage, 3:30 a.m. This is going to be a real interesting match, that one, Serena Williams and Mara Santangelo. Santangelo is the one who's seeded, Serena unseeded, and then again 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time.
15-11.
That 3:30 a.m. is ESPN, evening ESPN 2. 15-love. Fitness is obviously going to be a factor in this match. It's not, I mean, toasty, steamy hot like it can be down under, but this is going to go on for a long time, over 2 hours already. And we're just in the early stages here of the third set, 1 set apiece.
So one thing about Roddick, though, even through his rough start, his rough first half of last year, the guy puts in the work off the court.
Oh! 15-30.
And this kid puts in a little more work. You're going to be hearing more from Tsonga because he's showing a lot of talent in this match. Shot-making ability, a lot of good energy, excellent serving. He's never played a match this long. That's going to be a fact. He's only played 1 other Grand Slam match. That was a 3-set loss to Roddick at the French a couple years ago. It's down so well with that volley.
Break points.
It's in the net. Roddick tries to go right at him, but doesn't get enough on the backhand.
That's a really good aggressive approach. That's sort of where I was going, Patrick, because a year ago we talked about his fitness. That never was a negative for him. It was just his strategic play was questionable. Foul with another break. He's serving at 4-3 on Rod Laver Arena. But what happened was he got into great shape, and then the Connors issue came up as his coach. The advantage as he wins 2 and we're back at deuce. So then you had the combination of an improving strategy and really good conditioning.
I think the thing also, Cliff, is that you can be in great shape, but you've also got to improve your game. You got to improve on the tennis court. And I think that was where Roddick needed that push that Connors gave him. That you got to come to net. You've got to take the ball early. You got to do these things on the practice court and in the matches.
And you've got the shots that will allow you to do that. 3-2 for Andy Roddick against Joe Wilfried Tsonga of France.
The moment may be right for you, but your sleeping beauty may want to wait till tomorrow. That's okay. You have up to 36 hours with Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to work up to 36 hours. 36 hours means you can be flexible and choose for yourselves when the moment is right. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away. Some things take time. You can have it. 36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
Andy Roddick in front 3-2. Is in trouble in that last serve game, but came back and held on serve 2-3. First set in a tie-break, 20-18 to the 21-year-old Frenchman. Second set, he served for it. But Roddick was able to break back and won the second set in a tie-break.
That can win you more than just 1 point. Tough, grinding point. See Roddick not winded at all, and Tsonga had him on the run. That's where that mental part of the game becomes so key, because you know that you're wearing your opponent out physically. It can give you such an edge mentally. Just makes you dig a little bit more for each shot. Makes you force your opponent to play one more.
This is Tsonga's Australian Open debut.
Yeah. Pop on that serve. 127 miles an hour out wide. Ace number 15.
Oh, clips the tape. 14 on the passing shot, and point to Roddick, still game point to Tsonga. There's that down the line back.
That's the best one he's hit today. Really gotten himself in position and leaned into that two-hander. Roddick staying in every game. You know, he was down a couple of break points and on his own serve the last game, comes back down 40-15 here.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, he missed it.
He had it though.
Advantage, Tsonga.
The right spot to go. You can see where Tsonga is moving to cover the cross court. He just gave it too much air.
Good smart serve there from Tsonga. Mixed it up. To kick her out wide and got in behind it. I think that's a play he should use a lot more. Amir Delic, the American who had a good year last year, got himself into the top 100 with a routine win over Simon, another Frenchman.
15.
Zach Fleischman from California, he qualified here. He's having a battle with Augustin Calleri, the tough Argentine, up 2-1 and 1 apiece in the fourth.
Love Roddick.
30.
Rod Laver Arena has some interesting moments going on there, and we're going to be going there momentarily. Roddick holds. Chris Fowler, let's hear from you about what's going on Laver Arena.
What's going on, Cliff, is that Bjorn Pau, the 27-year-old German journeyman, is serving for a one-set lead over the dominant world #1 Roger Federer. Pau had a break in the opening game of this match. Federer broke back, but Pau able to break Federer a second time, and now it's 15-love at 5-4. Darren, are you stunned? It's only the first set here. He hasn't closed it out yet.
Actually, Brad Gilbert just came in here and said that last year Roger Federer was 92% with service games won, and already in this match he's going at 50%. Bjorn Pau's been able to break his serve twice already, so it has been surprising.
And we'll see if Pau can close it out. Pam, Federer won the first 11 sets of this tournament a year ago before Tommy Haas was able to rally against him. So he's used to kind of comfortable opening matches.
Well, and he also had a little different lead up this year. He had a regular tour event going into the Australian Open the last couple of years. This year he decided just to go straight to Kooyong, play the exhibition event. So he doesn't have the same amount of matches that he's had in prior years.
Federer with 15 unforced errors in this opening set, compared to only 11 winners.
And look at the second serves. Federer's only won 3 of 8. Tony Roach looking on. And you say this guy's like the fastest guy on the tour. Now, you and Brad had a little argument about this.
The fastest guy, Pau?
I think so. Over 10 to 20 meters out of the blocks, I would put my money on him above anyone else. I know there's some other fast guys out there, but this guy is lightning fast.
Federer a lot on that backhand to create a break point here.
Yeah, what Bjorn has been doing really well so far is mixing it up, not letting Roger get into too much of a rhythm and not letting Roger impose his game. So when Bjorn gets a chance to make something happen, he's been going for it. He's been serving well and occasionally coming to the net as well. So he's mixing his game up well.
Way to break point back to deuce.
We actually got a first-hand look at this guy last year in Dubai. Bjorn Pau beat Andre Agassi and played a pretty good match. That was a really fast court, and we thought that maybe the quickness of the court was going to take his speed out of the equation, but it wasn't to be. He played a great match.
Strength of his game was his first name. But besides his speed, what else does he do?
Not a bad backhand. He hits it pretty well. You can see there he tried a low percentage shot from a bad position in the court. But it's just a solid all-round game, and he tries to mix it up as much as he can. You see he gets a few free points on that first serve. It's sort of like the Leighton Hewitt first serve, where he tries to get as many free points as possible.
Powell's a guy, he has the win over Andre, so he's beaten at least one legend before, but a guy who at age 26 last year finally had the best year of his career, kind of peaked inside the top 60, but at age 27, still improving.
Exactly, Chris. I think you'll find a lot of players, the more time they spend on the tour, the more they get comfortable within their own games, and Bjorn is really one of those players. He's starting to find the right way to play for him.
Whenever I see somebody take a backhand from the forehand side of the court when the game gets tight, to me that means the forehand's starting to perhaps break down.
Andy Roddick serving for a 2-set-to-1 lead at 5-3 in the third set. We'll take you right back there. We'll see if Powell can fight off this break point here. Flailing at that forehand, Federer able to raise his game enough to break back for 5-all in the first set. So we keep you posted here. Back to Cliff and Patrick at Vodafone. We'll see if Roddick can close out the third set over there.
Well, he's looking good right now. I guess what we were talking about in the second set has come to pass. Tsonga played a pretty loose game.
Very loose game, yeah. And Roddick's just playing some excellent defense and
set point,
looking as comfortable as he's looked all day.
So it's the kind of deal where you wake up in the morning, read the newspapers, 4-set win,
routine, no big deal, right?
But it has been really, really close. However, Andy Roddick in control now, 2-1. Set 4 when we come back.
It hit the curb, it hit a tree, and then just sailed right up into my living room.
I'm State Farm agent Kathy Wall, and this is a true story.
Some fool drove into a living room
and parked on a sofa.
So I called State Farm at 2 in the morning, and my agent was there immediately.
Well, I had to get the car towed out of the living room.
At 2 in the morning.
And I had to get some guys to board up the house.
At 2 in the morning.
She stayed with me till 5 a.m.
Great service and great rates. It's all here. Nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor?
State Farm is there.
For each of us, there's a moment of discovery. We understand that all of life is elemental. And as we marvel at element bonding with element, we soon realize that when you add the human element to the equation, everything changes. Suddenly, all of chemistry illuminates humanity, and all of humanity illuminates chemistry. The human element. Nothing is more fundamental, nothing more elemental.
Starting to hot up here. Opening day of the Australian Open 2007. You just saw Andy Roddick, after dropping the longest tiebreak in Australian Open history, serve it out to lead Tsonga 2-1. Roger Federer, after breaking for 5-all, holding at love, and we'll take you back inside Laver Arena when they finish the sit-down. Federer, of course, we talked about the 92-5 record in 2006, the 29-match winning streak in terms of official matches coming into the event here. And Aaron, it's hard to believe that this guy could top 2006 when he was within a couple of sets of the calendar Grand Slam, losing only in the French final. And the emotional moment with Rod Laver receiving the trophy down under here.
Well, he is really big on tradition as well, and knows the importance of what he's accomplished over the last couple of years. And he's a wonderful guy off the court. I'm not sure if you had the chance to meet him, but a very down-to-earth guy, and certainly is respectful from the champions prior to him. And you can see the list there of Grand Slam champions.
He's trying to join the double-figure club, which amounts to only 5 on the men's side. Only Bjorn Borg able to get to double figures and slams faster than Federer. He's not going to retire as early as Bjorn Borg did. Bjorn Fowler, meanwhile, trying to hold on in this first set after having a chance to serve it out.
Big game here for the other Bjorn, because this is a real important time for him after having a couple of breaks of serve in the opening set. He really needs to consolidate a good service game here and force a tiebreak.
Being the forehand winner. There haven't been too many winners by Federer's standards in this first set. Above 30.
Last time he won a point, Bjorn Fowl. It's been about, what, 9-10 straight points in a row. I mean, talk about Federer noticing that Fowl was not ready to win the set. He's just turned it on a dime. Just like the way Roddick noticed from Tsonga deep in the second set that Tsonga wasn't ready.
By most people's evaluation, Darren, Federer's got a pretty kind draw. The veteran Jonas Bjorkman or Olivier Deschamps of France would be his second round opponent, assuming he gets through this one. He's in the same part of the draw as Yuzhny, Gasquet, Baghdadis, Djokovic would be other seeds in that quarter of the draw.
There's some of the speed.
All that defense by Powell just to try to get on the board in that game. But instead, Federer breaks love and wins the first set 7-5. When our live coverage continues on opening day, we'll take you back to Vodafone. Fourth set action, Roddick and Tsonga.
Big Monday.
Johnson finishing. You can't stop.
Super Tuesday.
Up in the air. Oh, my goodness.
ACC Wednesday.
The Dukies are on fire!
Each night, all season long, the field of battle changes, but never the fight for domination. Conference supremacy, what separates the leaders from the pack. Big Monday, Super Tuesday, ACC Wednesday. All season long, beginning at 7 on ESPN.
The world can be a complicated place. But when it comes to your money, ING is making it easier. See why it's easier on the bench. Ask your financial professional about ING. Your future made easier.
Things that make you go. Papa John's garlic parmesan breadsticks. Taste them, dip them, tear them, and share them. Because get this, they're free. Get an order of 8 fresh-baked garlic parmesan breadsticks free when you order a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99. Buy a large one-topping pizza, get an order of garlic parmesan breadsticks free. Call or order online.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Things that make you go,
One of the cool spots here. You can get a beverage and watch tennis on the big screen. Folks have just watched Federer, despite the fact that he was broken twice in that set and had more errors than winners, close it out against Pound. You can see Stefan Vivier, the ATP trainer. They've had a brief timeout for Federer's foot to be retaped there? Blister problems, you reckon?
Seems so. Pam actually made a good point before that Federer has actually changed his routine coming into the Australian Open. He normally plays Doha, and he's come straight to the rebound ace, and he played a tough match in his first match at Kooyong last week against Stepanek, 7-6 in the third set, so maybe that's just some lingering problems from that match, but not great signs, but a long way to go. A fortnight to play a Grand Slam event, and he needs to win 7 matches, so you don't want blisters straight away.
One set down and 20 winning sets to go. You don't want to see the trainer at that point.
I'd still go with Federer.
So the odds makers. A couple of other things to tell you about an opening day here. American Amir Delic able to get past Gilles Simon, the guy who beat Roddick at the U.S. Open in 3 tie breaks, 3-2 for Delic. And there are 5 American men who have qualified, including Zach Fleischmann, who's off to a good start, up 2 sets to 1 in that match.
Amir had a great finish the year last year. He went back and played a lot of challenger events and made a few finals, won a couple of those challenges. So a great effort by Amir, and I've got to believe that's pretty close to his highest ranking. So a good start for the young American.
Richard Gasquet, Mario Ancic, other winners. Have been 2 retirements. Juan Carlos Ferrero is through, as Jan Hayek had to retire with a gastro problem 3 games into that. Hey, that's a kind way of putting it. And Joaquim Johansson having to retire in his match against Guillermo Garcia Lopez. Officially, it's a toe injury. So usually it's an upper body injury for Johansson, but the bad luck continues down under.
Boy, Pibham's had so many troubles over the last few years. It's been shoulder, elbow, wrist, and he just can't seem to get himself fit to get onto the court. We all know what he's capable of. We've seen him a few times, and he's a great player. He needs to get himself fit, and that's really disappointing.
And we enjoyed it. Mary Carrillo will step in and join us in the studio here as we, in the meantime, resume our coverage of Roddick and Tsonga. 1 game all in the 4th set. Back to Cliff and Patrick.
Chris, you know, Tsonga is looking now like he's trying to get this thing over with. I think he is hurting physically. Last time that he played in Angers, a best-of-5 set match was against Andy Roddick at the French Championships 2 years ago, won pretty easily by Roddick. It's 1 apiece here. This is the break point for Roddick. 2 sets to 1 Roddick. So Tsonga is trying to open this thing up early to get the points over quickly. Like that.
Yeah,
it's not working.
It's not going to work.
And Andy Roddick, on the other hand, is showing no signs of wear and tear at all. 2-1. Roddick with a break.
Hi, America. Tired of porn? Me neither. But you got to take a break sometime, so watch our new show.
You must be cool, all right?
All right, just watch our show.
Comedy Central is changing television forever.
Hey, what's going on?
The Naked Trucker and T-Bone Show. 18 wheels, 2 guys, and 1 carefully placed guitar.
Nothing more American than that.
I don't like it. I love it.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to get out of the tub.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to get in this tub.
The Naked Trucker and T-Bone Show premieres Wednesday night at 10:30, 9:30 Central on Comedy Central.
Trucks, 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 trucks. Rodeo Ford! Home of the 11,888 F-150.
My gosh, that's too cheap.
Over $1 billion for second chance finance.
And Rodeo Ford pays off your trade.
Even if you owe $12,000 more than it's worth.
Even if it's a lease.
11,888.
And if you can find a better deal anywhere, we'll just give it to you.
877-GO-RODEO.
5 minutes from downtown Dallas, east on I-30.
Rodeo Ford.
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here.
Match started nearly 2.5 hours ago, everybody. Andy Roddick was in so much trouble after losing the first set in a tiebreak that went to 2018 in the tiebreak. He was down in the second. Tsonga served for the second set and failed. Roddick made his comeback then, won the second set in the tiebreak. He's won the third set, and he's got a break now in the 4th. It is about 20 to 2 in the afternoon on this Monday afternoon, day 1 of the Australian Open Championships. Cliff Drysdale here, Patrick McEnroe alongside, and this is not what we anticipated going into this match.
15. Well, I definitely didn't anticipate, as you see the match differential, still Tsonga with a lot more winners, but you didn't say it on the air, Cliff, but you told me before the match that Tsonga's going to win a set. You knew something. You knew something.
think that he was going to come that close to winning 2 sets. That said, I don't think that this is a bad warm-up match for Andy Roddick.
No, but he's got to play a lot better. But definitely he gets some kinks out. And, you know, the thing about Roddick's game, 14-15, it's got to make him feel pretty good down here in best of 5, is that his serve, you know, it seems to get better oftentimes in these long matches as they go along. Gets that rhythm, and he's got the strength in the legs and great upper body flexibility, which is where he gets a lot of that width in that serve. And that becomes wearing on opponents. Especially this opponent, who's been struggling really for about the last 45 minutes to an hour.
He wants no part of any long point.
Roddick's going to need to save some energy, Cliff, because he's in a tough section of the draw. Safin potentially in the 3rd round. Mario Ancic, who won already today, in the 4th round. And then Ljubicic, who's the highest seed in Roddick's section in that quarter, number 4 seed. Ljubicic, by the way, is taking on Marty Fish a little later today in his opening round match.
Saying that as you take a look at what's in store for Andy Roddick upcoming here at the Australia, are you saying that this is because of the draw, you should try to sort of reserve some energy?
Well, I would say you always want to try to. I mean, in a slam, when you got to, particularly down here where you can really get some hot, brutal days, that can take a lot out of you if you have a long 4 or 5 set match.
And he's in the Federer half.
Yes. It's all, what I was talking about was all before you could potentially get to Federer in the semis.
Tsonga holds. Andy Roddick leading by 3 games to 2 with a break in the 4th set, leading 2 sets to 1. Show you a bite to eat us.
The Australian Open. Coverage continues tomorrow at 3 on ESPN2.
Tell me in your own words a little bit about Geico.
Well, it's one-stop shopping, really, Geico.com. You can get a free rate quote, you could compare coverage options, you could file a claim, pay your bill online, even, you know, have a little chat with an associate if you need help.
What about you? Can they chat with you?
I'm here for Geico, love. Let's not delve into my personal life, eh?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Up 2 sets to 1 and a break, but he's not happy. Moments ago here during the changeover, Andy Roddick was unhappy with a light call.
It's not me feeling like that. It's factual information that he was looking at you, waiting for you to call it. It's not like my opinion. What? I'll end the discussion as soon as you say something that's like halfway intelligent.
Carlos Ramos in the chair for this match.
Andy doesn't do himself any favors with that.
No,
I mean, at home, if you're watching
it's
that,
a little
really,
it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it doesn't
really
look
is.
good. It doesn't sound good.
I think I can safely say, Cliff, that if you spoke like that to a referee in basketball, you'd get teed up immediately. That sort of disrespect. And if you did that in football, I think the same thing would happen. I think tennis could use a little more of that. I think obviously we want to see the players, you know, personality and all that stuff, but that sort of belittling of the umpire.
You don't think they should have to take that?
No, I don't.
I just look. Andy is a smart guy. You watch transcripts of the things that he says, or if you're in a press conference with him, he comes up. He's a really good thinker. He's off the cuff. He speaks well. That was wide. Down goes Tsonga. But I think, you know, if he sees that himself, it just, when he would watch that on the replay, you'd think Andy would say, listen, I don't need to be that sort of negative to the chair ump.
Couple of cupped forehand volleys from Roddick, not really getting under the ball and punching it. Tsonga with his tank nearly on empty. The light just about flashing, showing he's got just a little something left. One more little push here.
Great point. Federer up 4-0 in the second set after being challenged in the first. Bjorn foul serve fought first set.
So much for the early hiccups from Federer as he's cruising now. Roddick is shaking his head and affirmatively there because he took that ball right off the bounce. He was right on top of the baseline.
That's a good play. He could use that play a little more often, don't you think?
Particularly on this court where the ball really bounces and gets up high. A little kicker out wide, sneak in behind it.
Because that kicker is such a high percentage play, he's going to get it in for sure. For 2, Roddick.
Aggressive return there from Roddick.
Roger Federer in action against Bjorn Fowles. We just showed you that score. It looks like Federer as coasting now in that match. Big lead in the second set after winning the first. Baghdadis, Rainer Schuttler to follow that.
You and Chris Fowler are so happy to have Rainer Schuttler, you know, so you can do that. Rainer Schuttler.
That's a game as this 21-year-old Frenchman, a wild card at this Australian Open, tries to stay alive.
Here's how it works. Get the nation's slimmest smartphone for only $99.99. The Q. With easy access to email and Windows Mobile. It's the stylish way to work. From Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless broadband network. Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Can a multivitamin help you feel physically and mentally energized all day?
Is that possible?
With new One-A-Day All-Day Energy it is. It's the only complete multivitamin with more B vitamins and an extended-release guarana blend to help you feel energized all day. One-A-Day.
I was looking for a smarter way to migrate from Unix to Linux. Fortunately, I get advice from a partner who does it every day.
So Roddick trying to close it out. Meanwhile, another American. This is Zach Fleischman, who breezed through qualifying, trying to close out Augustine Caleri in the first round. And there it is, his first Grand Slam match win for the 26-year-old from Santa Monica. Qualified here a year ago, but is beaten in the first round. A pretty restrained reaction from the veteran, who awaits the winner of Stefan Kubek and the Aussie veteran Wayne Arthurs, who are now battling in a fifth set. So, well done to Zach Fleischman. Amir Delis, another American, through earlier today, and Roddick closing in on the finish line as we take you back to Cliff and Patrick.
That's ugly with a capital U right there.
Had his chances to break back, actually, in this fourth set. But you can tell that, as you were saying, that gas tank is you can see the red. What did you say? You can see
the red light on the tank, gas tank.
4-3, Roddick.
I think it's flickering right now.
40 love to Roddick, so he's potentially 5 points away from a spot in the second round.
I know you have one of those like fancy new cars where it probably starts talking to you, Cliff, and like beeping, and go get gas, fill up tank.
Oh, that's too tough. So, Joe Wilfried Tsonga of France. Yeah, he put trouble now. 5 games to 3. He's serving to try to stay in the match, but be aware that he won the first set in a huge, long tiebreak and served for the second set.
Early in the match, Cliff, we were talking about the net points of Roddick, and he was well below 50%. But as the match has worn on, the number has been going up. He's over 60% now in winning those net points. Roddick trying to coax a call out of the linesperson, but doesn't get it.
Oh, the chopper.
Match point for Andy Roddick, who beat Roger Federer in an exhibition match in Kooyong on court very similar to this on Saturday. That's a warm-up event that most of the top players play in. Looking for a spot in the second round.
Right, please. Sit down. Thank you.
Perfect.
I feel like both of these players will go home with some measure of satisfaction. Tsonga coming so close to a 2-set-to-none lead, and Andy Roddick go to bed tonight thinking, this guy played well against me. I found a way out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, because it wasn't his best tennis. Remember, his first real match of the year. You mentioned the warm-up tournament, but a first live match for Roddick, so he gets through in 4 sets. Of course, Safin lurking in this section of the draw. He'll play the winner of Chiquel, another Frenchman, and Alan Jones, a wild card from Australia. So Roddick moves through. Remember, Ivan Lubicic is the highest seed in this quarter. They would play in the quarterfinals. Look at our Lexus between the lines of this match. It's really Roddick's legs that won him this match. Tsonga was out hitting him in the first couple of sets, but Roddick sort of dug in. Some good movement, good mobility, kept him in some rallies. Forced a 21-year-old to play a lot of shots, and that started to pay off as the match went on. A good backhand pass there. Roddick mixing up his serve. Served at 72% for the match. And also coming in. Some great net play here. Anticipating net points, as I said, got more successful as the match went on. That's our Lexus between the lines.
It is a great lesson that you learned today from Andy Roddick. You got to stay with your opponent. He did. And a 4-set win for the number 6 seed, the number 2 player in the USA. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, Roger Federer in action on Rod Laver Arena.